sometime in the future.
And let me be cynical, like Saba often says she is, and argue that maybe it suits everybody. Maybe no political party actually wants to deal with the consequences of what this might mean internally. Without adding seats to parliament, it means you're asking one third of constituencies that were fought either by men or women now to be fought only by women. Saba, maybe this moment suits everybody. Maybe everybody has decided to participate in this zero sum game.
So, Barkha, did you notice the ceremony in the outgoing parliament, in the old parliament that we all know, the farewell ceremony? So there was Prime Minister Modi, there was Adhi Ranjan and Mallikarjun Kharge. There was not a single woman on that.
They were all Menaka Gandhi spoke.
They didn't call the president who was a woman. So it was very odd. And then they got Menaka Gandhi, suddenly out of the blues, she came and made a speech, even though there has been, she and her son were supposed to not be getting the tickets, but maybe she will. I don't know about the son, Varun. But anyway, that's not the point. So that's just but the point is, I was looking at it and I was so angry. We all must have had those moments in our lives. Yeah. I've had it. When I've sat in a news meeting, everybody's been male. Many of them have been paid more than me if I'm doing more work. So I had one of those moments. Where I looked at all these men up there and I said, my God, they're going to talk about women right now, I really did. I was so...
Yeah, even on the first day, I noticed that hardly any women spoke. I think only men spoke when they first spoke about it before the debate. But, I was just looking at the data. When the Manmohan Singh cabinet had 10 women ministers, the Modi cabinet has 11. Things are changing, but at a snail's pace. And yes, absolutely, that image of the men on the stage, all men, was something. But equally today, the Rajya Sabha had a powerful moment. It had 7 women, 7 different women in the chair. The vice president basically inaugurated the proceeding. There it is. If you just take the banner off, this was quite a moment. So it hasn't been without its share of symbolic moments, some of the speeches, some of these powerful moments. But the real politics, and let me ask you, both of you, in the end, to talk about delimitation, because now we can't talk about women's quota without talking about delimitation. Kani Moi, when she got up to speak, she said this is like a sword hanging over the south. Saba, what's your instinct? Are you convinced, like Neerja, that parliament seats are going to be added because that's the only way to contain the fallout?
I have no idea what kind of formulation they'll come up with, and anyone who does, is going to, only somebody who's an expert on the legal aspects of this bill can hazard a guess. And I suspect Neerja would be more so than me. But I will say one thing, because I was in South India. I was in a state in South India, and I did meet somebody who's part of a ruling establishment just now in September. I left in the middle of the G20, caught a flight and went, So at that time, and I did happen to meet, and they said that is going to kick off an entire different block. It is a balkanization moment. And I will not name them, because these are things which are said off the record. It will be a balkanization moment for us, So, but so those are very, very serious, because there is an issue. The southern states have kept population down, and they are performing, and they're giving money to the financial pool. But the northern states are, so it's not, but you also have the point of principle of population, universal mandate. So it's a very complicated, naughty thing. That's why I'm surprised that they have linked something like this, which could be to something which can create so many resentments. Yeah.
But Neerja, a last word from you. Actually, when I think of everything that both you and Saba are saying, I in a way understand why they need time, why anyone needs time. Because if you're going to add seats to parliament, it really does complicate the delimitation exercise. If you say you're not going to do women's quota without adding seats, then you do need to link it to delimitation. How can you do it then?
That's right. I think overall, there have been in the last 27 years several formula, Barkha. Double member constituencies was one formula. Adding seats was another formula. Allowing for quota by political parties was yet another formula. So I think what was needed, and this government has the oomph to do it. They could have put it through.
Yeah.
What they needed was to go into it, 1, 2, 3, 4, these are the options. What do we add to it? And it could have been done very quickly because a lot of homework was anyway done over the years. So why they didn't do that, or are there things up their sleeve that we still don't know? We have no idea about whether they will add additional seats or whatever. One word I want to say about the OBC factor, Barkha, which is being raised by the opposition and earlier by Sharad Yadav and the OBC parties. How do you add OBCs? How do you allow for a quota within a quota for the OBCs? SC/STs have a representation in parliament and legislative assemblies. You will give 1/3 of that quota to them, to women amongst them. OBCs don't have a quota in parliament or assemblies. They have quotas in government jobs and in educational institutions. So if out of that 1/3 quota for women, you give, say, will you give half for OBC women? 52% were, of course, OBCs in the 1931 census. They believe the numbers have increased. But suppose you say you give 27%, say 1/4 you allow. Will not the male OBCs tomorrow say, we want a quota in parliament?
Yeah.
Are you going to open a Pandora's box about who will get representation?
I don't see this quota within a quota happening, and eventually the bill has passed
the
without
opposition raising it. If it's
maybe
not a doable thing,
I am really confused.
Where is the homework?
Sonia Gandhi changed her position on this, entirely changed her position.
Right.
Saba, you wanted to respond to that?
I just want to say that I think they're changing it for the census issue. I don't think the Congress is the last party that, the OBC quota, just to add to what Neerja is saying, and she's entirely right, because the OBCs are in any case getting represented in large numbers, at the time when the constitution was created. I'm not saying I'm for or against, but they do. It's very unlikely that Brahmins will start standing up from seats. Highly unlikely in India. They will not, it will not happen. You remember that time, all of us may remember, but I remember that Parkati Sarwale Mahila when Sharad Yadav said it.
We're all the same vintage with varying degrees of short hair. So of course we remember.
So you remember all that. So all that sort of rubbish, but actually OBCs are assertive in Indian politics right now. Even the left only was led by Brahmins as an OBC chief minister in Kerala. So things have changed. Okay, let's understand that. But Neerja has and I think they're doing it because of the caste census. And because the government is not ready to share any data. And the reason they're not ready to share any data is actually as much to do with caste as to do with the fear that it might show a decline in the birth rate of the Muslim population. I've got this from the top data people in India,
Okay.
So
all right. Let me give
know that.
We have no idea. We're all guessing as usual with the Modi government. We're all guessing and applying our best political instincts, which have often been wrong in the last 9 years. Neerja, let me give you the last word. In terms of the political impact, you've already said we don't know. We also don't know if they're going to go this way of adding seats, but I think it's most likely to contain heartburn within parties, and I have a feeling nobody will oppose them on this because every party will have the same challenge.
That shows the journey we've made in the last 27 years, that no party today is able to oppose it. I would say OBCs are going to be the flavor of the season in 2024. It's going to be a big factor, both sides. Both sides are going to play that card. The politics of it is moving in that direction.